Good evening. Welcome, Kingdom Lum Small Town Underground. If you are joining me this evening, just let me know that you can hear me. I did a test run a little bit earlier because I went back through and redid my equipment from all the problems I've been having. So if somebody can just give me a heads up that they can hear me and they could hear the music, just let me know that you heard the music. Um, while I'm preparing, if you don't care to, thank you, Jennifer. Facebook is not allowing me to share this. I don't know why. I didn't get a. I didn't. I didn't get another message from them. So if you can share it and share it to any groups. I normally try to share it out to groups. I know last week's video made the rounds, but thank you, thank you. Just like I said, help me share it and spread it, and I would appreciate it. Before we get started, yeah, I'm restricted too, big time, but some of y'all folks can share it. I just, full disclosure, I'm going to try not to go off the rails tonight. Like, I usually try to pray before I do these, and now that I'm trying to space it out a little bit so that I can get good quality content, clear mind, all these things, I had to say, thank you. That's my music. Thank you. I had to say a prayer for God to just keep me from going off the rails here, because I try to keep this family friendly, and all things through God, right? Strength, because like I said, from a former atheist, right? All things through God, and there are no atheists in hell. The more that we battle this insanity and this evil in this world, the more we come to realize there's a higher power, and He does have control. So help me to stay on the rails, because I'm already getting like goosebumps, and I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight. So we're gonna just kind of jump right in. I got a lot of notes here, so I'm gonna try to take it slow and be able to get all this out. Now, the title of tonight is that Georgia is compromised. Okay. Now, we already knew that we were compromised. We know that we're compromised, but we have fought the good fight, and we have elected people, and we have tried to stand and create these grassroots movements, and through these elected representation, okay, we were pushed to get up, stand up, say something, don't sit on the sidelines, get involved, start calling things like they are. And now we're being told to sit down. We're being told there's nothing we can do about it. We're being told that it is what it is, right? Well, I say that a lot. I say it is what it is. And maybe in the grand scheme of things, it is what it is. But that does not change a single thing in my life or in any of my friends or family's lives, because things are steamrolling ahead. And of course, I continually use the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, the wisdom to know the difference. The courage, to me, is getting up here on a Wednesday night and running my dumb mouth, because I believe so much in common sense, logic, reason, morality, And no, I don't expect things to be perfect. I'm not a perfect person. But common sense and logic, we've lost it. We have lost it. I thought a few months ago we were in clown world. Remember, it's all a joke. The Watchmen, it's all a joke. But we have entered into the territory of unknown. And I keep getting the same thing over and over and over again. well, it's always been like this. Well, people have always talked like this. Things, I'm telling you right now, it's never, ever been like this. And if you think for 1 minute that you can sit back and that you can just pretend like America is the same place it was 20 years ago, you know, you need to have your head examined. It's not. We've completely demolished our institutions. We've demolished our religious institutions, our government institutions, our family institutions. We've just, I can't wait to get the comments, y'all. We're destroying everything that makes a society great. And if you don't pay attention to history, if you can't look back and see, I mean, there's so many examples in history that we can go back and read in a book. When people talk about Civil War, we always think about guns blazing. That's our mindset. We were taught that. We understand the Civil War was a battle between, attrition, the states' rights, slavery, whatever you want to call it. It was a war, and it divided up this country. And every time that you think about it, in your head, you're programmed, because we think about muskets and gray and blue and kinetic warfare. But I'm telling you now, we have been in a civil war. We are already in a civil war. And it looks nothing like it did, back in the 1860s. But make no mistake, we are at a crossroads of a civil war in this country. And I'm not even talking about the guns. But you have to understand, we are being attacked on so many levels. So why do I say that Georgia is compromised? Well, I'm going to walk you through, and I'm going to show you, because this is my election integrity opinion tonight. This is my take on everything that's going on. Last week, we sat through a Georgia election integrity debate, and it was pretty good. Seth Keshel was there, and Holly Kessler was there, and I got to sit through two of them, and very compelling evidence, very compelling data, and a little bit of data that I'm going to share with you tonight, because I'm not focusing on the 2020 election. What I'm focusing more is on the 2022 election, because we kind of skip over that, right? Because we as conservatives, we skip over that because we got that safe space, right? We got Brian Kemp reelected, and Stacey Abrams was going to beat him. Stacey Abrams was going to be, she was just going to be the governor of this state, and everything was going to fall apart. We had to get out, and we had to elect Brian Kemp again. And judging by the numbers, Brian Kemp didn't need our help, really, to be honest with you. And guess what? Looking back on everything, I mean, who knows? Maybe Stacey Abrams was right. Maybe in 2016, because I believe the elections go back way further as far as how they're manipulating the elections, the technology that they use. And I'll share some of that. I'm going to go in through a lot of things that we've been sharing this week. But anyway, so let's start here, because there tends to be this people tend to think that the elections are fine, right? You've got one side who's just saying the elections are fine. We've got the strongest laws in the books about elections. Here we are, and everything's good. Our people are taking care of us. And you've got the other faction that says the elections were rigged, they were stolen. There's all these things, whether you want to call it Dominion, ballot harvesting, all of these things, right? Now, I'm just using logic and reason here, okay? So let's look back at a small list that I created of compromised things in our society, right? So let's go back. For example, January 6th, compromised, right? You can call it whatever you want to. You can say it was an insurrection. You can say it wasn't an insurrection. I mean, the bottom line, factually, right? We're talking about logic and reason. People did break barriers. They did go into the Capitol. Whether, the shaman was being led by police, things happened there that day. Things happened and got completely out of control. So you call it what you want, but every single day that goes by, we learn that there was more to it than that. You want to talk about Ray Epps. You want to talk about, which I'm going to play a clip, the Tucker Carlson interview that's just broke of that the then police chief who for 71 minutes calling for help and couldn't get any help. How the president at that time had asked for help, wanted the National Guard. He was denied. We forget about these little things about when he was at the church, they tried to firebomb the church and they tried to set him on fire and all these things. That was never called an insurrection. Whenever Democrats broke into the Senate chambers, that was an insurrection, right? But it was an insurrection on January 6th. Now, further and further we go, I hope y'all aren't hearing that. Maybe it's just on my end. Further and further we go, we find out that January 6th was compromised. Now, it doesn't take away from the fact that it was whatever it was. It was a lot of people that went into the Capitol. There's a lot of people still sitting in jail right now. There's a lot of people that are suffering right now as we continue into this clown world. But make no mistake, it's been compromised. Now, I'm going to play this video, and I don't know what that is, Jen. I'm trying to figure it out. But it's always something, man. I'm going to play this video real quick, and then I'm going to see if I can figure that out. So I do apologize.
You've described this as an intelligence failure, but a failure is something that happens accidentally.
None of the intelligence that was coming up talking about the storming of the Capitol, killing members of Congress, or killing my police officers was ever discussed at the conference calls that I was on, at least.
That doesn't seem to make sense at all.
It doesn't make sense. I'm looking at my men and women having their asses handed to them, and my first thought was, fuck it, I will take whatever discipline there is.
Once things got out of control, for 71 minutes, Pelosi refused to allow you to bring in the National Guard. Why don't we have answers?
It doesn't seem like people really want to get to the bottom of it, and it gets worse from there. I had a conference call with the leaders of all the law enforcement. It was a call I coordinated. Not one person on that call talked about any concerns for the intelligence, the attack on the Capitol that we were seeing that was out there. That's what's scary.
This sounds like a setup to me. I'm sorry, it does.
New Jersey State Police beat DC National Guard to the Capitol.
Wait, cops drove from New Jersey before the National Guard could get from the Armory on Capitol Hill to the Capitol. Why isn't this story everywhere?
I have no idea.
If you wanted to understand what happened on January 6, 2021 at the U.S. Capitol, one of the first people you'd talk to, maybe the first,
Maybe that was it.
would be Stephen Sun.
Sorry about that. I
Sun
hope everybody
was the
could hear that
chief of
okay.
Capitol Police
I
then.
wanted to play the intro. So as it's making the rounds, you just heard the Tucker Carlson interview, which was, there was a leaked one online first, and then there was this one. I think it's the same one. Hang on one second, y'all. Okay, I think I'm narrowing it down to my mic. Anyway, so what I mean by compromise is the January 6th, every day we're finding out that there was more and more compromise. We're finding out that there were Capitol Police that were dressed up. We were finding out they were coordinating with Antifa. We know about Ray Epps, who, let's go into the Capitol. He's still out now. He's trying to sue everybody under the sun. And now you have the police chief saying that they called for backup. They called for help. They called everywhere trying to get people down there in front to stop all this. And then you turn around and find out that the shaman was basically being led through the Capitol by Capitol Police so that they could wrangle people up and get them out of there. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean, I'm not sitting here trying to tell anybody that the January 6th was a good thing. What I'm telling you is things are not what they seem. It's a compromise situation. And then we had our government that wasted millions and millions and millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. On what? January 6 hearings? And now, which we'll get to in a little bit, they're getting ready for the fourth Trump indictment about the elections. And magically, my video set to private? Hang on a minute. Yep. That's always something, y'all. Let me see if I can... Yeah, I'll see if I can set it to public, y'all. But just follow me while I'm going through this. Lord have mercy. Anyway, like I said, it's been compromised. So let's go back to the next one. The Russia collusion hoax, right? It looks like it's public on my side, y'all. Oh, no, it doesn't. Hang on. Okay, it's public there. All right, y'all. Just bear with me. I swear it's like pitfalls every time you turn around. This should be public. Edit privacy. Yeah, it shows public. So it must be Facebook messing with me, y'all, because everything is public on my end. I'm telling you, I'm this close to probably getting completely taken off air. So enjoy it while we can, because it's all public. So I do appreciate everything that y'all are doing for me, and it's completely throwing me off here. But for some reason, man, it's showing public. So edit privacy. I'm gonna okay. It's public now. Apparently, it wasn't when I went in. Now it's private, or it's public. Sorry. Crazy. All right, guys, it should be public now. I have no idea why it wouldn't be. Okay, so let's continue on. Thank you so much for everybody that's like helping me get this out, because it's like every time I turn around, it's like something else. So, all right, let me speed it up a little bit. So, Russia collusion hoax. We know from 2016 on, it was Russia for years. Russia for years. Okay. And we know that it completely fell apart. We know that the Clintons were involved in this. We know that there was no peeing on a bed and what's the I can't remember the actual report that came out. That was all fabricated. You know, it's funny how it's Russia throwing everything, and now we're at a war with Ukraine and Russia, for God's sakes. You know, I mean, don't you think that's a little coincidental? You know. So let's go on to COVID. COVID, here we are. COVID was compromised, right? The entire world was compromised by COVID. Look what happened to us. The entire world got locked down, and we'll cover a little bit of that with Trump, because I have a theory on some of this stuff, and I'm not a Trump cheerleader. I'm not up here to cheerlead for Donald Trump. But we all know that COVID was compromised. We knew that things weren't what they seemed. You know, we knew that the narrative that they were selling us wasn't exactly what would have been good for us. We understand the shots. All of these things have been debunked. Fauci is gone, and the man is like disappeared. Nobody even cares about Fauci anymore. Nobody's pressing charges against Fauci. Look at the millions of people. In fact, I watched a report the other day that said worldwide, at least 20 million people were pretty much died from COVID or the effects of COVID and all that. That's a lot of freaking people, man. Maybe they achieved what they wanted to with this event 201, but it was compromised. We know that, you know. SPC, let's talk about SPC, the idiot that stole billions and billions of dollars and Bitcoin and all of these things here. You know, it was a huge thing. He donated all this money to the Democrat Party. He got caught. He was living up in some penthouse loft doing God knows what, you know, and billions of dollars were just gone. They let him off the hook a couple of weeks ago. Compromised, money gone, just gone. But, the Democrats got their money, right? Ukraine. Where are we at in Ukraine? $170 billion in Ukraine? And he's begging for more while he's trying to give $700 one-time payments to the poor people of Maui that just lost everything, and we're sending billions more to Ukraine. It's compromised. It's compromised with everything, with the tanks, with the F-16. It's completely bullcrap. Okay? The Patriot Act. 2001, after 9/11, what happened? George Bush signed the Patriot Act in it. Oh, it sounds like cool, something I want to be a part of. The Patriot Act. Guess what it is now? It's the reason why all these companies and these social media networks are able to spy on us and give information, do all these things. It is nothing more than to spy on people because they knew the technology was coming. Come on, man. Compromised. Weapons of mass destruction. Do we want to talk about weapons of mass destruction that took us down a 20-year war in Iraq and Afghanistan, which we left in horrible, horrible shape? In fact, I believe it was yesterday that the Taliban was celebrating their second year back in control of Afghanistan. 20 years, thousands of lives lost, millions of lives affected all around. At one point, and I shared this with you back at the beginning of the year, I came across an article that said that we spent over $2 billion $2 billion in 20 years for air conditioning for that war. What could you do with $2 billion? Compromised. UFOs. I'm saving that for another episode. I'm going to do my own UFO episode. But come on, man. The government's coming out now telling us that there's UFOs. Oh, Jesus. I mean, I know I look stupid, but I didn't think I looked that stupid. The Gulf of Tonkin, Vietnam, it came out in the redacted classified documents that we went to Vietnam over the Gulf of Tonkin, for God's sakes, which was a PBR boat that got blown up. It was false. Operation Paperclip, Operation Monarch. There was just so many things. We were compromised. When we went to a war, 57,000 people died in that war. Twitter files. What happened this year? The huge revelation at the end of last year. Twitter files. We now know beyond a shadow of a doubt that everything that we've done online on our social media presence, everything has been looked at, everything's been shared. We're on lists. They know what we've done. Well, we knew all this in the 2A groups anyway, because we knew whenever they cut us all off for the last election. Some of us were cut off for days. Some of us were cut off for days with no message, no nothing, just blank. Compromised. Climate change, for God's sakes. I'll give you one. Let me tell you something. If you're keeping up with Maui at all, know this one thing. I'm not going to get off into the conspiracy theories of Maui and all this. It's a very horrible, horrible situation. Thank God Oprah Winfrey, though, and her community up on the hills of this sacred land, thank God that, they didn't get set to fire, but the entire town got set to fire. I'm not saying anything, but thank God Oprah's okay. And immediately upon the town burning, and they're still fetching bodies out of the ocean while people like Paris Hilton and her ass is swimming out in the ocean. Joe Biden won't even comment, won't even give a comment to the media. Been on vacation for 4 days bicycling. He's too damn busy. And they offer him $700. And then not even 24 hours after these people have lost their entire lives, their family members, we still don't know where the school children are. And you've got every Tom, Dick, and Harry from every U.S. and every other country calling these people up with their bloody names on a list, offering them 2 to 3 times what their land was worth if they'll just sell the cold, charred, fired up land. And this is where we're at. You tell me, how real is your bullshit climate change that you're telling me that I got to give up my gas stove for? That you're telling me that you're gonna take away light bulbs, for God's sakes? And you got every Tom, Dick, and Harry that has their own bunker, that owns their multi-million-dollar bull crap, is trying to buy every bit of that oceanfront property right now. It hasn't. The cinders hasn't even subsided yet, and they're offering these people millions of dollars for this land. It's sickening. It's sickening. I'm trying to keep cool. Now, when I saw that report earlier today, and people were talking about they get getting phone calls from these financial institutions, and some of them are in the country, some of them are out of the country, they're offering them just huge substantial amounts of money, like life-changing money, life-changing money. If they would just sell their charred up piece of land to them, maybe an acre for $5 million. We'll give you $5 million for it. Yeah. And you're trying to tell me that we've got the climate change, we're going to worry about rising ocean levels. I mean, what I'm painting this picture is just common sense. I have no proof. I can't sit here and go through all of these things with you. But you understand, we're dealing with reality here. Proof. So, again, thank you for hanging with me. We will be doing comments. I might split them up because we're getting a bunch. But these things were compromised. Every single one of them, and there's more. I'm seeing more that people are putting in there. Oh my God, yeah. Look, speaking of Obama, now there's a tell-all coming out about the biographer that had and they were able to substantiate these letters that he used to write to his girlfriends about making love to men every other day. Okay, hey, it's your prerogative, brother. But I mean, is it Michelle or Michael? You know, is everybody crazy? Is it Kenya? Is it the U.S.? What is it, right? I mean, but we're crazy. But it's compromised. So, thank you for letting me get that out. Here we are, of all of this laundry list of things that are compromised. The FBI is compromised, right? The CIA is compromised. You want to go back to Operation Fast and Fury. You want to go to the border right now. Our border is compromised, right? My point to this, because we're talking about election integrity, is how can anybody in their right mind out there tell me that our election system, whether it be our state or our federal or in any other state in this union, how can you tell me that out of all the shit that is going on right now, that is compromised, right? We can agree, oh, you're right, that's compromised. You're going to sit back and tell me that the elections are not compromised? You're going to sit back and tell me that we are using a proprietary software that was started up by Dominion, that's not even owned by Dominion anymore. It's owned by, I believe, Staple Street Capital. And you're going to try to tell me that, oh, you're hurting us because you're questioning the election. So magically sprinkle some fairy dust. Let God, he's splitting the ocean here because election integrity is just straight down the middle, right? And in fact, it was so uncompromised that after the 2020 election, our state decided we're going to get us a big bill. We're going to fix all this stuff. And they come out with it. And when I first read that bill, I was like, this is pathetic. Every single thing in that bill should have been standard for an integral election. And people are still bringing it up to this day. Oh, we've done plenty in this state. Oh, have you? So you're telling me, out of all of these things that mention and that what people are mentioning in the comments, that everything we see is our cities are compromised. Our Second Amendment is compromised. Our Constitution is compromised. But somehow the elections just made it through. And y'all are just a bunch of crazy people. Y'all are just crazy. Y'all need to shut up because y'all are making people not want to go vote. And y'all are hurting the Republican Party. You just hurting the Republican. Piss off. I'm not in the mood to listen to stupidity. Okay? Now, trying to calm down. I'm trying to keep it family friendly. God help me. Now that we've established the logic and the reason that the election systems are compromised, they are compromised. What is anybody doing about it? Well, we've started a huge grassroots movement in the state of Georgia, and we're going county by county, and we're using tactical civics, we're using citizens grand juries, we're using everything that we've got. We're trying to change the Republican Party because we've got to fix this. And what is the establishment doing? Number one, they're laughing at us. Why? Because they can. They're laughing at us. They're laughing every step of the way to the bank. You want to know how I know they're laughing at us? Because Donald Trump is fixing to have his ass put in jail with a mugshot on the 25th. They're laughing. They think they got the cat in the bag. Well, let me tell you something. Our elections are compromised. They are not safe. If you think that, let's go through some information now. Now, I'm going to start with this archive right here. Hank Sullivan which is, I'm going to probably blow it up for a minute, because if you haven't read this yet, and I haven't seen where any of this stuff has been, debunked or anything, but let's just go through this real quick. I do not know Hank Sullivan personally, but when I read this, I was a little taken aback. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing. They're talking about neither Raffensperger nor Kemp can be trusted. As a result, until an honest, decentralized, verifiable election system can be operated in every voting precinct in the state, the citizens of Georgia, by and large, will never trust the results of its statewide or local elections again. And now, is that my fault? Is that my fault that the election was so bad so you're blaming me because of all the bull crap that we went through? Remember the water leak in State Farm Arena? Remember the ballot stuff, and remember all of the But it's my fault that I don't trust it, right? So I'm bringing this up. I'm going to actually go back to part 2. But this is some really good stuff that nobody knew, okay? I didn't know it, at least. But it's something you need to go to. You can go to Substack, look up Hank Sullivan, and you need to read both of these articles. Brian Kemp's fake crusade for election integrity in Georgia. Now, it goes on just to say, I'm going to read some of this. An important reason for the Georgia election system operating under the auspices of Kennesaw State was for the election system to maintain an arm's length working relationship with the Secretary of State and the vendor, ensuring both independence and objectivity in its work. All right? But after the changes by then Secretary of State Brian Kemp in 2017, Georgia elections have been wholly administered and supervised by a political office holder elected under the very system he himself personally supervises and controls. That's not good. Just before making the change to bring the election operations under the full control of the Secretary of State, right? So they took it away from Kennesaw State. Kemp expressed outrage regarding alleged potential vulnerabilities at the KSU Center for Election Center, especially the wiping of data from the system. Wow. So back in 2017, they could wipe the data from the system, and it goes on to show you an actual post. I didn't make this. I mean, there it is, October, the Brian Kemp, I'm mad as heck, They wiped the data from the system. I wonder how they did that. Citing reckless behavior and a decision to wipe the compromised server as the very reason for ending the SOS contract with CES, Kemp added that his office had opened an internal investigation and the responsible at KSU should be held accountable for their actions. Undeniable aptitude. Here's where it gets juicy. Yet a week later, Kemp's legal counsel, Ryan Germany, you remember his name because he was one of Raffensperger's phone call with Trump after the 2020 election. He was one of the guys that now Donald Trump is going to jail for. A week after this dude cleared the CES director against any wrongdoing and allowing the data to be wiped, stating very simply the data destruction was nothing other than standard procedure, which Voter Georgia reported on in the Georgia elections data destruction audit. Throughout his post, Secretary Kemp expressed anger at those actions by UITS and CES. He called the actions reckless behavior, blah, 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 blah. While citing a conflict among the defendants, by Monday, October the 30th, Secretary Kemp's legal counsel, Ryan Germany, produced a report stating that the election server data destruction was standard procedure. Now, let me get back over here. So, I urge every single person to go read Hank Sullivan's Substack. Go read the Substack. There's part 1 and part 2. It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind just how things changed back in 2017, before COVID, before 2020, before all these things, as if somebody had a plan. Somebody knew that we were going to have to do these things. Somebody knew that the technology was going to be. Somebody knew that somebody screwed up in 2016, right? Because Hillary Clinton was supposed to win, and we woke up and it was Donald Trump president, and we've got to fix something. So a year later, here we are. We got to get this. We got to take this out. We got to get it back from an arm's length. We got to get it smushed right in here, and all of a sudden, bam. And maybe Stacey Abrams ain't sounding so crazy anymore, is she? Well, of course, Stacey Abrams is crazy. I don't want to listen to Stacey Abrams, but I'm just saying. Maybe she had a point. Maybe she knew. So I urge everybody to go back and read this Hank Sullivan. I will send the links. Jennifer Tudor shared them with me. But I'm just saying, this stuff went back years before 2020. But it's the projection, the gaslighting. They think that we're just hung up on 2020 because we want Donald Trump in office. No, we don't. Of course we want Donald Trump in office, but that has nothing to do with anything. What we want is transparency. We want free and fair elections. We don't want all the bull crap that we've been going through. So I'm showing you this. This is logic. This is reason. This is just straight up truth. You can go look at it yourself. You understand? Now, I want to cover on 2022 because everybody knows about 2020. Now, let me show you here because go back in your time machine to 2022, right? We were scared. And let me pull these up real quick so that you guys can take a good look and you'll follow me here. So, hang on, fellers, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Now, get my ugly face out of the way. Now, here we are. Who won governor 2022? Governor Kemp, 53.4% against Abrams, 45.9%. Abrams was the top contender for 2022. They had us running for the hills. Stacey Abrams. Libertarian Party. Hey, I used to be a Libertarian. 0.7. U.S. Senate. Looks like, wow. Warnock, 51.4 to Walker, 48.6. So Herschel Walker, right? Yeah, he wasn't the smartest guy in the world, but he has a really good heart, right? We love him. U.S. Senator Georgia, Warnock against Walker. That was 49 to 48. 51 to 48. Looks like we voted on party lines, right? Yeah. Now, Governor Kemp, man, he had a big lead right there, 53. I mean, he won by, well, let's just look and see. Let's click on it. Let's see here. Let's see what it says. National Political Reporter, GOP Governor Brian Kemp won re-election. Democrat Stacey Abrams, who also lost to Kemp in 2018, failed to keep up with Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock's margins throughout the state. Brian Kemp won 2,110,328 votes. Stacey Abrams lost by 1.8 million. It's funny, though. It's funny to me how Stacey Abrams lost. But Brian Kemp won by that many votes, yet it flip-flops, you know? Because most people at this time in 2022 are already to the point of 2020 where they're like, man, I'm just voting straight down the ticket, you know? I mean, at least everybody I know. I haven't met one person. I mean, and that's wrong to do to me. You know, I don't think it's right. I'd rather vote for the candidate who I like the best. But it seems to me that a lot of people didn't go down ballot. They decided, well, I'm going to vote for Brian Kemp, but I'm going to vote for Raphael Warnock, right? This is laughable to a certain degree, because we've seen the data for 2020. We know that there was an integrity issue. We've seen the videos. We've seen it all. But I'm telling you, looking at 2022, I was more surprised by that margin than anything. Like, how could anybody not go and just vote down ballot, right? Because everybody I know, I'm scared. You know, I mean, you can't convince me that Democrats voted. I don't know. All I can tell you is their algorithms are getting better, right? I mean, you just got to look at some of this stuff, and it doesn't shake out well. And, of course, nobody's looking at 2022 because Stacey Abrams is not our governor, you know, which is a kind of another problem. You know, if Stacey Abrams won, if it was free and fair and transparent, I would be mad. I don't want Stacey Abrams to be my governor. But if it was a free and fair and transparent election and we knew it was and we could see that it was and we could go back and get information that it was, I don't think anybody have a problem with it, see? But we can't. We can't. We can't look at anything. We can't see anything. So people make these assumptions that everything's hunky-dory, especially when I hear them talk about Dominion because, oh, there's no way. I know algorithms. I know. Guess what? You don't know nothing about this software. Now, which leads me to yet another. Let's see. It goes hand in hand with this. Don't start your stuff. Hang on. Oh, my microphone might be. Okay. Leads me to this. Where is it at here? I got it somewhere. Hang on. This report from the Gateway Pundit, August the 14th, today's the 16th. Report, engineers discover nationwide cellular network connects election equipment and gives federal government access to the election systems at precinct level. Now, I'm not going to read the entire article, but this article is out. It's been verified. There's all kinds of... I'll read a little bit. A growing majority of Americans know the 2020 elections was fraudulent. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to pull this up here where everybody can see it. Many analysts who have been studying the election integrity have concluded that there had to be a two-way connection between local elections, which is electronic poll pads, tabulators, election management systems, voter databases, etc., and a centralized data collection system responsible for monitoring and manipulating the election. Fingers have rightly been pointed at all-inclusive election management software. So you can look at this, read it for yourself. Okay, and if it's fake news, well, then put a tab on it, because I haven't seen any of this stuff that's being labeled fake news. It's real. They know that these systems can link up. Do you think that they're going to go through every single individual Dominion software and put a physical patch in? No, they're gonna update them. We know this. We know they can get online. We know they can do all these things. They do all these things that they tell us that they can't do, or nobody can do this. Well, I go back to the exact same thing. Kill chain, which I've gotten banned, not completely banned, but my information has been taken off. This will probably be flagged and taken off. You need to go back and watch the Kill Chain documentary that I keep talking about. It's hard to post. It's 2,000 Mules ain't got nothing on it, because what it is real information that was coming out after the 2016 election about how much election integrity or how little election integrity there was from 2016. Okay, and they tried, and they had the money and the funding, and they went through and they tried to tell you that these machines were able to be manipulated. They went through the entire history of these election machines and the three companies, and this was all prior to COVID. This is all prior to 2020. It was all out there because they were setting it up an all-out war on election integrity until 2020, and now it's hard to find. You can't talk about it. You can't talk about it on social media. You can't post it. You just got to go find it. It's called Kill Chain. It was originally an HBO documentary. But you can see where all of these things were happening. Bringing up the Hank Sullivan Substack, you can see in 2017 where things went wrong. Hindsight's 2020. Oh, we took it away from an outside entity and we smashed it in here in our office. All of a sudden, here you have Stacey Abrams. Well, Stacey Abrams certainly didn't say there was any election fraud in 22, and she lost by that many votes. I don't know. It's funny to me how it's blatantly obvious, but there you go, a Democrat, and they're not going to stand up and say anything else. They've been told to shut up. They've been paid to shut up. They've been told, keep your mouth shut. This is a fight on conservatism. This is a fight on these far-right weirdo patriots. These extremists. They're all a bunch of racists. You keep your mouth shut and you let us do our thing, and we're going to continue to bury these bodies. So here you go. So let me go through some more. Let's see, on The Verge. Oh, I'll go cover that in a minute. Let's see here. Kemp card. Now we're on the subject of Kemp. Right here, this is from National File. Kemp card. Pressure builds on Georgia governor to end Fulton County witch hunt. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp has the power to remove the corrupt and anti-Trump Fulton County DA from office. Now I'm sharing this because this is being brought up. I've heard that this Fannie Willis DA has done this RICO law to Donald Trump in such a way that not only can he not pardon himself from it, but that she cannot be removed from office. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. There, you got one side saying that they can, one side saying that they can't, right? But let's just read a little bit. This was on August 15th. Pressure is building on Georgia Governor Brian Kemp to take meaningful action to stop Fulton County DA Fannie Willis's witch hunt against Donald Trump. Kemp recently signed Senate Bill 92 into law, which grants to the governor of Georgia the power to refer lawless prosecutors to the prosecuting attorney's qualifications commission for removal. If Kemp and the commission remove Willis as Fulton County DA, it would strike a significant blow to the globalist efforts to jail Trump. Georgia law limits Kemp's pardoning ability, meaning Senate Bill 92 is the only path forward. All right, this is all news to me. I don't know anything about this Senate Bill 92, but let me ask you a question. I wish I could take a poll right now. Do you think that Brian Kemp is going to remove Fannie Willis from this? I mean, look, I get it. Yeah, Brian Kemp, he don't like Trump, of course. They hurt each other's feelings and all this crap, and Trump can be petty sometimes, but I don't give a crap about feelings. We're talking about what is right. We're talking about common sense, logic, and reason. We're talking about doing the right thing. And I haven't seen Kemp do any of the right thing, considering my family, my community, right? In fact, he's been silent, lame duck as far as I can tell. But do you think for 1 second that he would take that Bill 92 and do something about this? I mean, boy, he would restore a lot of faith in me. Maybe I'd start listening. He's a shivering. No, he's not going to do that. He's not. I mean, he's following the New World Order. He's following the WEF. The Republican is just a name badge. He's going to do his thing. He's not going to do the right thing. Well, everybody knows this is stupid and this is a bunch of crap and that they're slinging us through this mud and they're going to make this huge spectacle about the 25th. And if he were to remove her, all of a sudden he would get charged. Oh, I'm just a racist. You're a racist. You're extreme. They would come down on him. Why do you think I keep posting these articles about how they're praising Kemp and Kemp's a great person and Kemp could be the next president? Of course, it's butter. It's butter on the pancake. They've been buttering him up. They knew all this was coming. They've been planning this for a while, and this is where your logic and reason comes back in. So you're telling me that all these grassroots people that are fighting tooth and nail legally, and some we're going to great depths to do things, and everybody's completely ignoring them. Your representatives are completely ignoring them. I mean, I've never seen nothing like it before. I mean, feel like I kind of got used a little bit. So, no, Governor Kemp's not going to take her out. He's laughing all the way to the bank. He's probably not even going to run again. He doesn't care. Which is, I'll cover a couple articles in the end here. But yeah, this is what we've got going on here, folks. Brian Kemp is not your friend. Brian Kemp, is very quickly becoming an enemy of my state because Georgia is compromised. Everything here is compromised. And he has already shunned the GOP. He's already shunned these GOPs and came up with his own super PAC and all this. And we're just flat out ignoring. I'm getting so sick and tired of these damn politicians that won't even answer a question about it, right? And I see a little bit backpedaling today. I'm not going to cover that. But this is insanity. So I've got one video that I want to play. I can't play you the actual video. I'm going to play two back to back here. But you got to hear this. This is a little bit of blast from the past here. Let me find it. So this is your old buddy SOS Brad Raffensperger. Here we go.
In this state, elections are not partisan. Security, transparency, auditability matter to everybody in this room. We need to know our vote counted and it counted once and it counted as we voted it to count. So can you tell me why a amicus brief was filed against our case?
That was filed by the Attorney General. And unfortunately, that's standard procedure. Even if we don't support something, the Attorney General has the authority to do that, and that's what he did.
Okay, I'd also like to point out that the Dominion systems that are now in our state are over-complicating the election process. Whitfield County, they cannot produce the digital ballot images of the general election in November 2020, along with 70 other counties.
That's right.
Paper ballots, auditable, easy, simple, we take the complication, the lack of transparency out of the equation. There's no sense in it.
Well, to your point, we do have all the paper ballots. Every ballot that
Digital
was,
ballot images, the digital images.
yeah.
So you cannot do an audit to say the ballot that this system counted to this paper ballot line up. It's not, can't be done.
Well, in House Bill 316, when it was passed, the official ballot is the paper ballot. The digital image is a backup.
Has anybody let us see the paper ballots?
Well,
No. We need the paper ballots.
well, that paper ballots.
Right. That was your Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, getting humiliated by people who he thought were just too dumb. We're just too stupid to see. We're just too dumb out here in the sticks to understand that things are not what they seem. And I'll get to the QR code in a minute. So let's hear from our esteemed 14th District representative. And let's hear what she had to say the other night in Gordon County, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Folks, let's hear what she has to say. Let's hear what kind of positive attitude that she wants to send out to all of us out here that are fighting for a little transparency.
Where we are today. I believe that Republicans need to get better at working whatever system is in place than the Democrats, because they have been kicking our tails for a long time now. And Stacey Abrams came up with an amazing machine, didn't she? And she figured out how to crank out the vote and turn out all these votes, whether they were real or fake. We have to get good at the system that we have, because I can tell you right now, we can yell and scream about voting machines. We can yell and scream about absentee ballots all day long, and I can assure you that it will not change for 2024. I can tell you that right now. But what I can tell you, that what we can do, is we can get busy and I'm telling you, it's a big deal, making sure every registered Republican actually votes. Because a lot of them won't vote. And that's the only choice we have. And also another reality, whether we like it or not, the state of Georgia is in a contract with Dominion. They're in a contract. And so if any of you understand what happens when you break a contract,
it's an illegal contract. It's illegal.
Listen, it's still there. It's a contract. And so again, I can tell you, I'm just giving you my opinion. I want to win I want to have the biggest Republican majority ever. Yeah. I want to have the best Republicans elected. Listen, I'm just telling you my opinion, like from one voter to another, because again, in my job, I can't change it. It's a state issue. But Georgia passed a law, they have a new law in place, and we have to work with the system. We got to work with the system we have.
We're not going to.
I'll tell you this: if you're a Republican or Democrat, because we can have both people here, if you care about winning, get in there and make sure
you care about winning.
First off, I don't give a shit about winning. What I give a shit about is transparency. I want it to be right. I want it to live in America where the people vote and their votes count, whether it be Republican, whether it be Democrat. I don't give a crap. If that's where we're at, that's where we're at. But I don't think things have ever been transparent in many, many years. I don't think that we've ever truly, I don't even think we've had a true president since Kennedy, for God's sakes. Don't get me going down that rabbit hole. But let me explain something to you. So she's basically just telling people her opinion is you just got to stop. You just got to stop with all this nonsense. All that hard work y'all are doing out there, it means nothing, because I'm going to tell you nothing's going to change. And, well, we're in a contract, and do you realize what we'd have to do? Well, do you realize that the QR code is actually technically illegal? Do you realize that it's proprietary software that we know nothing about and can't get anything about? Do you realize that the people that you're telling to stop and move along are people that are putting in everything they got just for some transparency? Do you understand that, Marjorie? Did we miss something here? Because I'm not feeling very, very loved by my representative here, especially when you can't even get a question in or communicate that there are several grassroots movements in this state that are just fighting for transparency. It's all about winning. Well, let me tell you something. Let me give you a little bit of reality, Ms. Greene. If you think in reality that Republicans are ever really going to win anything in this country without a force, well, then maybe you're the one living in conservative fantasy land. Because things are so bad all across the entire spectrum that election integrity is just one of many. You know, nobody talks about artificial intelligence. Nobody talks about the fact that the World Economic Forum's already said that artificial intelligence will run the next election cycle. Then you've got these stories saying the 2024 election will be the last election we ever have. Maybe it is a moot point, but you're telling people that they just need to stop, just quit fighting. Sounds to me like there's more compromise. Somebody might be a little compromised here. Don't like it, folks. I don't like it one bit. She's entitled to her opinion like everybody else. She is not my enemy. But if you think that for 1 second that I would tell somebody like Voter Georgia to just throw their hands up in the air and just forget about everything, just go on back home because you can't do anything about these machines because we're under contract. Yeah, we also have a federal deficit in this country, and y'all just voted for more money. Why? Because we got to compromise. We got to win. Well, if winning is flushing a turd down the toilet, well, consider me just circling the bowl then. Because where does this crap end? I thought that we as moral, conservative people that love and fear God were supposed to stand up under every circumstance on the side of right. I thought that we were supposed to be the ones who led by the example. I thought we were supposed to be the ones to stand on that rock and no matter what, and fight for the good fight. And everybody's telling us to just stop. Everybody's saying, you're wasting your time. Don't do that. Just leave it alone. It's bullcrap. It's absolute bullcrap. So I guess there's some more compromising, y'all. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what happens. There's things I know that I'm not going to talk about. I'm not that way. My conversations are private. If I feel the need to cover something, I'm going to cover something. But let me tell you, I've been used before. I've been used before for things. And then when you need something or, you're interested in something, guess what? You can't get a phone call through. No, we won't let you set that banner up over here with us. We don't want your crap over here. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, but do you want to donate? No. If I can't represent my people, I'm not going to donate. Would you like to be a volunteer? Not really. Because you just told me, a few days ago that you wouldn't let me put my banner up representing my thousands of people in my community that was out here on hand and foot knocking doors trying to get you elected and get everybody, in line and get everybody fired up up here, sass, with getting out with the sass, but my banner's no good. Well, that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, I'm pissed. You heard it right there. Think about this crap for a minute. Everything is compromised around here. I'm showing you where when Kemp was the secretary, she said Stacey Abrams had the machines. No, it looks to me, according to Hank Sullivan's Substack, that Brian Kemp had the machines. You understand? I'm not going through this party line bullcrap. I am dead serious when I tell you that if this country elects a Democrat for president, all I want is the transparency. I can sit back on my little high horse and I say, well, people really are stupid. But at least you'll know. And we haven't known anything for years. You're dang right. Brian Kemp bought the machines. Oh, we're under contract. Yeah. Where's the QR code under contract? Where's the citizens grand juries trying to get some of this stuff through? Because let me tell you something. Fannie Willis. Oh, look at Fannie Willis. Let's look at her real quick, Oh, she's a trooper, huh? Who is Fannie Willis from the Washington Post? What does it say up here? Whoa, what you doing to me now? Uh-oh. Go back. Fannie Willis. Fannie T. Willis, the district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia, on Monday unveiled an indictment for former Donald Trump and those who support his efforts. Do you realize they're going after his lawyers? Did you realize? If we have nothing to worry about in the elections, why are they so desperately seeking to stop Donald Trump from running office again? Have you asked yourself that? Because if you can sit there and tell me that Donald Trump, especially after 2 failed impeachments, COVID, all of the crap that they put him through with Russia collusion, you can tell me that he's done something worse than any other president, than for God's sakes, Joe Biden? If you can show me, I would love to listen to you. If you can't, shut up. Because this is all bull crap and you know it. People close to the Fulton County DA say her investigation of the former president reflects her bold approach to sensitive topics and seemingly untouchable targets. This is bullshit. God, this is so stupid. I mean, I was going to play some of it. I'm not even going to play from it. In fact, people have been making some awesome memes about it. But these people are laughable. They're laughing at us. But this is the most desperate attempt I've ever seen. The most desperate attempt that I've ever seen. It's so frustrating to sit here and try to do good. Try to work for a living, try to raise your family, do the right thing. Try to just be a good person in society and watch videos of people, just billionaires that get away with all the money. Now in the cities, the shithole cities, they're just robbing people blind and everybody's high and the suicide rates are up and we're at war once again. We're trying to put in jail the only president who did not start another war, for God's sakes, and Barack Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize. This is the reality that we're living in. Joe Biden has spent 4 days riding his bike and with his ass in the sand and had no comment for the people of Maui. No comment for the people of Maui. Now, one more article, and then I'll get to my end point here. There's a lot more I could cover, man. Did you guys see the Mike Pence video? That's just an idiot Mike Pence. The only reason, let's face it, the only reason we ever liked Mike Pence was because he was a Christian, evangelical, and we thought this is good. Of course. Watch this idiot.
Hey, everybody.
If you haven't seen this,
Mike Pence here. Remember $2 a gallon gas? I do. And then Joe Biden became president of the United States and launched his war on energy. Since that time, gasoline prices are up 60%.
He released a commercial where he's pumping gas, but he doesn't even pull the handle, nor does he even turn the machine on. And he's sitting there, for years, I mean, this is how stupid these people are. And I guess they think that nobody's going to notice this kind of crap. Who are these people? I mean, this stuff is so stupid. It's mind-blowingly stupid. Why would anybody I wouldn't even do a hot take like that. I mean, I got a lot of problems here sometimes, I'll admit it. Hey, crap's going on here. But why would you release something like that for people to make fun of you? He may have really not even known that you have to actually pull the lever up to get gas. It's insulting. It's insulting. This whole thing is insulting. So, doggone it, where's it at? So I'll leave you with this because I'm going to get to my final point and then I'm going to skim through comments. You guys have been amazing tonight, absolutely amazing. I hope that I've been able to convey to you just how I feel. This is my election integrity. The elections are compromised. Our representatives are compromised. They are acting this way because they are compromised. They are bought and paid for. I don't know whether it's blackmail or whether they're, I don't know. But I know one thing. They don't have our interest. There's no, you ain't got nobody. Vote like hell is what I say. I haven't met one person that's telling anybody not to go vote. I'm not telling you not to go vote. I'm just being real with you about it. Do I know if my vote counts or not? I have no idea. And I especially don't trust the voting machines. But one thing's for sure, I will show up and I will vote. And I will tell everybody the same thing. if we have to give up, Miss Green, and we have to start ballot harvesting, and we got to start stuffing crap up from under tables, and we got to go door to door, and we got to get all these people to fill out ballots. But then other people want to say, well, that's because Republicans don't get out and go nowhere. Well, Republicans got out in 2022 because they beat Stacey Abrams pretty bad, but everybody else kind of lost, you know? That's weird. None of this adds up. None of it. And the funny thing is, if it did add up, we should be able to see that it adds up. We should be able to say, oh, well, you're right, you know? Because even though I'm a pretty heavy conspiracy theorist, if you can show me why I shouldn't feel this way or why that I shouldn't be asking these questions, I will listen to you. People will listen if you can make it clear and show it to them, but I'm not seeing it. On the verge, this is from Zero Hedge, on the verge of abyss. This was back from the 11th. I've been hanging on to this one. No U.S. presidential election in 2024. It's an interesting article. I'm not going to read it because of lack of time. And you've got people talking. You've got Tim Pool talking about civil war. You've got on the verge, no U.S. presidential election 2024. You've got the WEF coming out saying, hey, artificial intelligence will soon run it. You know, well, that's comforting, right? So who honestly knows what is going to happen, right? But let me tell you what all this could be building up to, right? Maybe, just maybe, because a gun bill dropped today on Guns and Gadgets. If you don't already know, California has just come out with a bill, and I think it's got to stay on the books for like 7 years, or they can't do anything until September, blah, 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 blah. What they're wanting to do is change the Constitution. Now, this is not something new. This is not something that hasn't ever happened before. Constitution has been changed, and it takes like, I think, 34 states to ratify, to make a change to the Constitution, right? So they're pulling out all the stops. So we're not going to mess with the Second Amendment. We're going to do away with weapons of war and your AR-23s and blah, 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 and your banana clips and all this crap. So I can post a link, but it was Guns and Gadgets today. And he went through and he read the bill. And California, you know, California's a shithole anyway. I love my family out there, but the state is just in disarray. And so they're trying to be the forefront leaders of this boost now, that they're going to start getting this legislation out because they think that someday they can get 34 states. And if 34 states will agree, they'll ratify the Constitution, and your Second Amendment is going to get swatted on like a fly, right? Now, in reality, it's not going to happen. I mean, we have, 27 states, I think, somewhere around there that have constitutional carry and more on the way. Of course, you know, who knows what the hell's going to happen in Georgia, you know, because we had to threaten Brian Kemp. We had to pull every stop available to get him to sign that document while he was gritting his teeth at everybody. I was so disgusted when it happened, I didn't even want to go to the signing. But it leads me to another point. I hope that you do subscribe to Guns and Gadgets, right? Because they have a lot of good information. But the reason I wanted to bring that up tonight is because maybe, just maybe, when you think about a constitutional change, right? When you're sitting there trying to figure out what in the world is going on, like what's everybody really smoking, right? Like what's going on? None of it makes sense, you know. You can't make sense of it. It's just so stupid. Everything's so stupid. Everything's, you know, and you're frustrated. You're frustrated. Well, let me ponder something to you. What if this is all one big push to just drive you to the point where a real civil war breaks out? I'm talking about the full Monty, right? Because we're already in a civil war. And I don't mean civil war by, like, you know, I mean, made that clear at the beginning. I'm not talking about we're marching troops down the street, but people have died in where we're at, and it is a civil thing. It is a war going on right now, a culture war, a civil culture war, a civil government war, a civil war of Department of Justice. What if they're just trying so hard to gaslight people with this 25th of August in Georgia? They want to make a huge spectacle about it, and people are so mad, and they're so pissed off, and they're so irate that physicality breaks out, right? Because think about this for 1 second. if a civil war breaks out, that's grounds to completely demolish the Constitution, right? They can take it away. They can eradicate it, ratify it out of existence, right? Now, what is this big push that we keep hearing about? We keep hearing about the Constitution needs to go. The Constitution needs to go. It's an old document. The forefathers never envisioned a world like this, you know. Think about it for a second. So as we go through and we're raging and we're mad, think about this. They want you to get physical. They want you to get mad and go out of your mind. And they want you... If we start acting out, we play right into their narrative. We justify their stupidity, okay? I know this is hard because, believe me, you get stuck in my head. But think about this. They are trying so hard to push conservatives, patriots, people that believe in this country. They're trying to push you to the brink where you've had enough and you decide that you can't take it anymore and that you're going to do something physical. And that's exactly what they want. That's exactly what they want. They want you to go a little nuts, and they want you to go a little crazy, and they want you to go out here, and they want to get the militias activated, and they want it because they know that if we act like that, if we do this, if we go crazy down there to 25th, we're playing right into their hands. They can completely justify it because they control the narrative. So think about these things. We're going to have to be smart. I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. The best I can see, we just keep talking about it and keep praying for people that aren't compromised, mainly. You know, find people that aren't compromised that are going to stand up and truly for the people. Because if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to say I'm wrong, man. I don't want the elections to be compromised. But you have not proven to me that they're not. I get more and more proof every single day. I get proof that these damn things are hooked into the entire U.S. and that they're hooked into the government. I get proof that every time that I send a text message or every time I'm online that I got a little CIA buddy. Hey, how you doing there, CIA buddy? Good to hear from you tonight. I get constantly reminded how it's better for them to know exactly what I'm doing. It's better for them to corral me and keep me in place. You see what I'm saying? So prove me wrong, you know? We don't have to agree on everything, but just show me where this thing is not completely collapsing. And in that, they're wanting me to get up, and they're wanting me to amass an army, and they're wanting me to take the march. Well, I don't know when the time is right, but I know one thing. This is exactly what they're wanting. Because I believe that the more riled up they can get us, the more physicality, the more uncivil it's going to get, to the point to where we've walked right into their hands. And you've already seen the atrocities of the January 6th and where our people are in prison. You just saw the FBI. They blew that guy away the other day. Now, reports are coming out. He had a .357 Magnum in his hand, right? I don't know. I haven't seen the video. But I do know one thing. They could have got that guy at the grocery store. They could have got him outside. They could have watched him. Instead, you know, they knew what they were walking into. They were ready to kill that guy. There's no doubt in my mind they were ready to kill that guy. And I'm not standing up for that guy. That dude should not be posting that kind of crap on there. God help, we don't want our president killed. We don't want the, no. There's a line in the sand. You know, a dude was making some pretty rough stuff, and we're supposed to be better than that. But I mean, that was a clear message. It's a clear message. And don't forget that was the message. That's the message. And that they're sending a clear message on the 25th and all these things. There's nothing I guess we can do about it. But just be careful out there, because they are trying hard to get at you. And they're doing it in every single way possible. So I'm going to come back up here to comments, right? Oh, man, some of my comments got cut off. Race, I'm swimming in the same toilet bowl with you. I apologize. I'm trying hard to keep myself composed tonight. Charles Stoker, plain talk. I mean, how can you get plainer than this? I mean, I'm so sick of the holier than thou, the intellectual babble. It ain't right. We know it ain't right. And every time you try to prove it ain't right, or go in that direction, you get stopped. You get stopped. You can't go there. You can't do this. You can't turn this in here. You can't do this over here. You can't do this here or there. And no, that's not with the law. That's not here. No, we're not going to listen to that case. It's constant no, 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 no. And then they come up and they say, well, we're going to do the fourth indictment on Trump. We're going to RICO his ass, and we got about 15 charges, and we're going to get him 71 years. It's stupid. I know does anybody even know? Have y'all heard of the Hunter Biden laptop? Have you heard of all the deals that went on with Burisma and Ukraine and our president and all the family members that get millions of dollars? Have you heard about the president? Where's the president getting all this money for Ukraine, huh? I was told by my representative that we hold the checkbook. We can control what Biden's doing. We hold the checkbook. Really? Because what about $150 billion right now? Who's holding the checkbook? How is he sending billions of dollars over there to Ukraine? If you hold the checkbook, if you got him by the balls, you got to hold the checkbook. But we're sending this money. Oh, sorry, Maui. Here's $700, and somebody will be in touch with you in an hour, and they're going to offer you $5 million for your oceanfront property. It's climate change purposes. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna make this sacred land a 15-minute city. You're gonna love it. You'll never have to leave. You worked your tail off for her, and they did you that way. No good. Look, like I said, no bad blood. I don't know if Marjorie will see this or not. I really don't care. I don't care if Marjorie sees this or not. I really don't care. I don't care if she sees it or not. I am just talking reality here. Let Marjorie go be Marjorie, because I'm going to go be me. And I don't like the video that I got sent to me telling me that all of my friends and all the people that I'm interacting with and all the people that we're trying to make positive change, that it's just not good enough. Move on. We've got a contract here. You can't do nothing about it. I promise you. And nothing's going to change. Okay. That's how you feel. See you later. Bye. Shasta, you are dead right. Both sides. Kemp brought the machines. Exactly. Go back and look. Look at, Stacey Abrams is still, God dang, Hillary Clinton, for God's sakes. If you haven't seen Hillary Clinton making the rounds now with Maddow, Rachel Maddow, that can opening woman. Oh, she's livid. Oh, oh. Bleach bit, servers, the death tree. I mean, ooh, don't get me going down there. Lord knows, I might wind up. Whew. Charles, plain talk is what we need. No more lies. I'm tired of the stupid lies. I mean, if you don't, so much I could say. Kemp is no better than Stacey. It's really not. Kemp. I mean, he's not even Republican in my book. I mean, he's not. And I came from the libertarian sort of, over to the conservatives. I pledged, hey, I'm going to be a conservative. I believe in stopping abortion, all these things. I don't just not care. Libertarian is just an excuse where you can just be the way you want to be and not have to have any responsibility, whatever. He's no better than Stacey. God knows how much money is involved in Dominion and all these 2020, 2022. And the thing about it is I was there. I was there both times. I was watching it live both times. I woke up the next day looking at the numbers with Candace Taylor and with Mac McGregor and looking up with everybody. We covered it. It's somewhere. Self-serving elected servants are not public servants at all. They're crooks. Well, a lot of them are. And it goes into the whole thing about money. And I always go back to what Matt Gaetz always said. Matt Gaetz. What's Marjorie Greene? She's not in the Freedom Caucus anymore, right? She got kicked out? Yeah. Matt Gaetz. What did he say? He said that they will wine you and they will dine you and they will do everything in their power. And they'll say, what do you want out of this? Well, I wouldn't mind being over this committee. Okay, well, let me introduce you to the coffers of this committee. Let me introduce you to the people that you're going to be working with. And all you have to do, good sir, is whatever they want, you just give them. And as long as you can give them what they want, your life is going to be nothing but roses. But guess what? You fight us, we'll make your life a living hell. We'll completely cancel you. You'll be divorced. Your kids will be taken away. You won't have any money. We got you. I mean, it's a bad situation to be in, man, because that's how the system is. That's how this uniparty system is. Look at all of the people that are making all of the money while we are down here working our asses off and getting nothing. Look at the businesses that we lost through COVID. They compromised COVID. Small businesses gone. Large retailers, Amazon, Walmart, all these other companies, they stayed open. You can go in there as long as you just follow that arrow. Honey, you follow that arrow and you keep that mask on your face, we don't have a problem. Tyler, if Biden got 84 million votes, then why are we worried about Trump? Amen. I mean, he got more presidents than, more presidents. He got more votes than anybody. I mean, exactly. That's what's the logic and reason. Why are you so scared of Donald Trump? Because Biden, man, he cleared the floor with Trump. Man, Biden was the number one. Not a joke. Why are you so worried about it? 4 different indictments in the land of, this is insane. Sherry Noblet, thank you for joining. They feel utterly invincible. And they do. I'm telling you, they're laughing at us. And it doesn't mean that we won't get the last laugh, but they're laughing at us right now. Don't make no mistake about it. They're laughing. They're just laughing. And it's what's so sad about it. Sharon Holland, Kemp Raffensperger and Carr are the American last Trump haters. Amen to that. They've proven it time and time again. Think about that for 1 second. Know this, that your governor of this state of Georgia, according to what we've read, right? I'm not the final say so, but he has the authority to remove this woman, to refer her to under investigation, to do things that will stop this idiotic madness. Okay, and it's been proven, and there was a bill that was signed, and we'll have to look at that bill. But he's got power. He's got power to say, hey, can't we all just get along? Let's just stop this. This is my home state, and there's a lot of things going on in this state, and we're a divided state. Everybody's calling each other rhinos and extremists, and we've got bad things, and my GOP's falling apart. We need to stop, and we can fix this, okay? But for now, we're going to stop this DA madness, all right? It was a phone call, okay? You don't have to go after the lawyers and everything. Let's just stop. You think Brian Kemp's going to do that? Absolutely not. Brian Kemp is back somewhere with some Georgia wine in one hand and a peach in the other, saying life's just peachy. It's not going to do that. And by God, if he ever did, I'd be the first to correct myself. Jennifer Jones-Hilligus, I wonder how much of this will cost the taxpayers of our state in this lawsuit. Oh, there's no telling. Money's no object here, right? We had a surplus last year. We had to give Colt Moore down the road because he was the only person who stood up on his ground and voted against that thing. Our one senator, our good God-fearing senator who's getting our backs up here, stood up and said no. And everybody laughed at him. They mocked him. They said, oh, Colton, you're so silly. You shouldn't do this. By God, I would stand with that man any day, and I'd stand with any one of you on the side of logic, reason. I don't care who. I don't give a shit about winning. It ain't about winning. Things are well past the point of winning and losing. We have been losing forever. And it's not going to change. What's going to change is grassroots movements, people getting out. She's right about voting. Everybody needs to get out and vote. This should fire everybody up to get to the vote, to go vote, for God's sakes. I'm fired up. But I'd rather have transparency. I'd rather have the ability to understand the test results, right? You take a test and you get the results back, and then you see which ones you missed and why. We don't get none of that. None of that. It's bull crap. The whole political side is money-making game to them. They hate us. They hate our Constitution. They absolutely hate our Constitution. Like I said, maybe this is a big ploy to get rid of it. Tyler Biden's handler must have the day off. Yeah. Oh. Jennifer, Maui is a land grab by the government. Yeah, how's that climate change working out? All of a sudden, a city in Maui burns, right? One is probably the most prized land in the entire world, and all these people that told us that Antarctica was going to be completely gone 2 years ago, right? They're out there offering people millions of dollars for their land. And they got dead bodies laying out there that they're pulling out of cars, for God's sakes. You already got phone calls saying, hey, I'll buy you your land for $5 million. Sorry about your uncle. It's insane. Jennifer Jones, Mike Pence, pedophile. Hey, there's some rabbit holes you can go down about that. There's some rabbit holes. Judas, I agree. Nikki Lee, everyone, please get involved in local government. It's the only hope of dismantling this from the ground up. Nikki's not wrong. You have to start at, I guess, the county level or the state level, because it is a money game. You know, it's true what these people say. Well, you got to have money, you know. Yeah, and that's how the system is played. You got to have money. You got to have money. Money rules it all. And if you're just a good old boy or good old girl and you ain't got the money, they're laughing at you, right? Start from the local level, I guess, because it is. We've got to protect our communities, man. And Lord knows we've got some communities out there that are really, really corrupt, really corrupt. Tyler, that's probably the first time in a decade he's touched a pump handle. Dude, that video is cringe. It's absolutely cringe. All right, bro, that's cringe. Pence, disgusting. Sharon, thank you. They're all fake. That's what. Yeah, evidently. I mean, of course. I mean, very, very few, and we are seeing it on the daily. How little. Sherry, do you think she'll turn on Trump eventually? Just not sure about it right now. All right. Well, I'll tell you this. I still got plenty of viewers. I'm trying to rush through. This is, get this done quick. Those of you that have known me, we've had these discussions before. I'm not going to publicly. I'm not going to publicly give my opinion to that. But that is a great question, Sherry, because I do have an opinion on that, and I'm not going to be able to say I told you so because I'm not going to give it out right now. But I do. I lean more towards. Let's just say things are going to get interesting. But we've had this conversation. In fact, months before, we've had it last week. So the ones really close to me know where I stand. And the next time I see you in public, I will answer that question. But I don't want to answer it up here. On here, I'm not going to answer it, but I got an interesting spin on that one. Nikki Lee, America's been infiltrated from within. Trust no one. Most of these so-called leaders are compromised, and it's even at the city and county level. Amen. And don't we know it, Nikki? Don't we know it? You guys, bless your hearts down there. I still keeping up with everything, and it is a shame what's going on down there. It really is. But okay, so some of these comments came back through. So, anyway, I think I covered them all. But yeah, if I didn't get to your comment, I apologize. But listen, y'all, we've got to continue to pray to our Lord for guidance, for peace, no matter what. Thy will be done. I'm dead serious, man, because I think about the same things y'all are thinking about right now. God, just so much. Somebody posted earlier about that we're not in a civil war. I saw it, but I apologize. I can't see your comment, but hey, that's fine. To each his own. It depends on what your definition of a civil war is. So if we're not in a civil war, we're not in a civil war. Whatever. But I don't know what you want to call this, but it's anything but civil right now. It's anything but civil. Perhaps maybe we can have a conversation off air and you can explain to me how you feel about it, But one thing is for certain, man, they are itching. They want us to revolt. They want us to revile. They want us to go nuts. Then they want us out in the street so we can play right in their hands. So don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Continue to strengthen your communities, your friends. Continue to group up together. Continue to learn life-saving skills. Continue to become more independent off the grid. Become more independent away from the grocery stores, away from the nasty foods. Continue build each other up. We are going to have some meetings together. We're going to have some more stuff to group up and do things positive because it's all down here in our community level. So I appreciate everybody so much. It has been an hour and a half. I'm going to get off here. Thank y'all again for helping me share everything. Thank you so much for the support. I probably won't do another video next Wednesday. It'll be every 2 weeks now. But I will continue to release content. Love everybody. Spread some positivity. And we need to pray for Donald Trump in this wacko clown world that's going to happen in Atlanta come the 25th. Our state is compromised. Don't stop fighting. If you need me, you know where I'm at.